Inflation is a term that we often hear in the news, but most people don't fully understand what its impact is on the economy. Inflation refers to the rate at which the general price level of goods and services in an economy increases over time. This means that the purchasing power of money decreases as prices rise. Inflation is usually measured by the Consumer Price Index, CPI, which records the prices of a basket of goods and services purchased by consumers. Inflation can have a wide-ranging impact on the economy, affecting everything from the value of money and the cost of living to employment rates and economic growth. Understanding the causes and effects of inflation is a crucial step in predicting its impact on the economy and making informed decisions. The causes of inflation. Inflation is caused by a variety of factors that affect the supply and demand for goods and services. When demand for goods and services outstrips supply, the prices of those products rise, leading to inflation. Similarly, when the supply of money grows faster than the supply of goods and services, the value of money declines, which can cause prices to rise. One of the primary drivers of inflation is the increase in the money supply. Whenever governments or central banks print more money, there is more money in circulation, which can lead to an increase in demand for goods and services. This increase in demand can cause prices to rise, leading to inflation. Another cause of inflation is a reduction in the supply of goods and services. When the production of goods and services decreases, the prices of those products rise, leading to inflation. For example, supply chain disruptions caused by natural disasters or labor strikes can lead to a decrease in the supply of goods, causing prices to rise. Inflation can also be caused by an increase in demand, often resulting from a boost in consumer confidence or an increase in government spending. When consumers feel more confident about the future of the economy, they are more likely to spend money, which can increase demand. Similarly, when governments increase spending on infrastructure or create jobs, the increased demand for goods and services can lead to inflation. Finally, inflation can also occur as a result of rising commodity prices. Commodity prices refer to the prices of raw materials, such as oil, gold, and wheat. When the prices of these raw materials rise, the cost of producing goods and services increases, leading to higher prices. The effects of inflation on the economy. The impact of inflation on the economy can be significant, affecting everything from the cost of living to employment rates and economic growth. Understanding the effects of inflation is key to making informed decisions about investing, personal finance, and government policy. One of the most significant effects of inflation on the economy is the decrease in purchasing power. As prices rise, the value of money decreases, meaning that consumers can purchase fewer goods and services with the same amount of money. This can lead to a decrease in the standard of living for many people, particularly those on fixed incomes. Inflation can also lead to an increase in interest rates. As prices rise, central banks may respond by increasing interest rates to slow down the economy and prevent further inflation. Higher interest rates can make it more expensive for consumers and businesses to borrow money, which can lead to a decrease in spending and economic growth. Another effect of inflation is the decrease in the value of savings and investments. As the value of money decreases, the value of savings and investments denominated in that currency also decreases. This means that people who have saved money or invested in assets denominated in that currency will see the value of their savings and investments decrease. Inflation can also affect international trade. When inflation in one country makes goods and services more expensive, it can make it more difficult for that country to export those goods and services to other countries. This can lead to a decrease in international trade, which can have a negative impact on economic growth. Finally, inflation can lead to a decrease in employment rates. As interest rates increase and the cost of borrowing money becomes more expensive, businesses may decrease their hiring and investment in new projects. This can lead to a decrease in employment rates and economic growth. Controlling inflation. Central banks and governments play a critical role in controlling inflation. They use a variety of tools to manage the money supply and influence the rate of inflation. These tools include 1. Monetary policy. Central banks can use monetary policy to control the money supply and influence interest rates. For example, central banks can increase interest rates to slow down economic growth and prevent further inflation. Similarly, they can decrease interest rates to encourage borrowing and investment in the economy. 2. Fiscal policy. Governments can also use fiscal policy to influence the economy and control inflation. For example, they can increase taxes or decrease spending to reduce demand for goods and services, which can lead to a decrease in inflation. 3. Price controls. Some governments may choose to use price controls to prevent goods and services from becoming too expensive. However, price controls can lead to shortages and a decrease in quality, which can have a negative impact on the economy. 4. Wage and price controls. Governments may also use wage and price controls to keep inflation under control. However, this approach can lead to a decrease in employment rates and a decrease in economic growth. Conclusion: inflation is a complex issue that can have a significant impact on the economy and people's lives. Understanding the causes and effects of inflation is crucial for investors, individuals, and policymakers alike. By monitoring inflation rates and using appropriate tools to manage the money supply, central banks and governments can control inflation and promote economic growth. However, failing to address inflation can have long-lasting negative consequences for the economy and society.